Hi, welcome back to The Growth Show. I'm your host, Whitney Bateson, and I just discovered that I was recording this episode with the wrong microphone. So I am giving it a restart, talk about podcast problems. So I hope you are doing well. This episode is just you and me checking in, saying hi, wanted to keep it casual, give you some life updates, travel updates, maybe a few tips here and there as well, of course, and just chat. So the last time I gave like a life update, I think it was at the end of the year. If you check that out, one of the things you heard me talk about was that my husband and I were thinking about buying a home and settling down a little bit. Now, if you have been following me, you know that I travel full time. I've been traveling outside the United States full time for 6 years, over 6 years now, since October 2018. And I love traveling. I love being outside the United States. I feel honestly being inside the US that there's just a consumerism culture that is there for me. Maybe not everyone feels that way, but I really like staying away from that feeling that I have to keep buying stuff and there's all these products for me to buy. I enjoy just being out in these countries and exploring them, seeing new things, meeting new people, having lots of really great experiences. I do have to say also the prices and the healthcare are a big reason as well. So I'm able to save a lot of money being outside the US. Now, I understand that that's not possible for everyone, but if you are thinking about staying outside the US, like leaving the US or traveling a little bit, or maybe doing part-time travel and all of that, anytime you have questions, feel free to send me a note. I've been teasing with some people that we're going to do a podcast soon where we're just going to have like a Q&A, ask me anything about travel and work abroad and all of that. I still want to do that. I just need to get it on my schedule and get it planned. But I know especially with how things are in the US right now, it's a challenging time. It's a frustrating time. I know even though I am not there right now, obviously I'm a US citizen. It still impacts me what's going on. It impacts people I care about. And it just breaks my heart, honestly. So I still very much care about what's going on there. I just don't live there and don't plan to go back anytime soon. But I also don't plan to settle into any one place. So the last time when I was recording my recap, we were in Medellín, Colombia, and we really loved Medellín. It was just easy to live in. The people are friendly. The weather was great. We were able to get a lot of the stuff that we needed to just live a comfortable life there. And we had been looking at places. We had been working with realtors and put in offers on a few places. And it was not coming together. And honestly, with the way the prices were pretty high. It was a little surprising. And we aren't planning to live there full time. And Colombia is not one of those countries that gives you any kind of residence permit or right to be there, even if you own property or invest into the country. There are other countries where if you lay down a certain amount of money and buy a home, buy real estate, then they will give you some kind of permit. So what that could mean potentially is we own this place in Colombia, and yes, they have tourist visas, and so we could keep coming in on a tourist visa. But if something changes and they close their borders to non-permit holders, then we would have this home sitting there in this country that we couldn't access. So that was one part of it. There were many, many parts of it. Some of the housing authorities or the homeowners associations were also putting some rules in place. Now, we knew that a lot of places put a rule, or well, the city put an ordinance that is similar to many cities that we're seeing, where you need to have some kind of license if you want to rent your place out for less than 30 days. But that's fine. We didn't really want to buy a place that we were going to be doing like daily rentals on Airbnb for. We would have wanted to rent it out long term to people like us who are looking to stay in a place for a while and work from there and just enjoy it, but not necessarily go in for a couple days and leave. That's just a lot of work and admin to deal with that. But some of the HOAs were saying like, you can't even rent it out at all, which I know some people experience in the United States too. I remember my condo in DC, even years and years ago, also had rules against that at the time. So for all those reasons, we decided, all right, let's just not proceed with buying a home right now. So we're going to continue to be traveling around and looking around and seeing our options. So with that, so we've been in Buenos Aires. So we left Colombia because we could only be there for 6 months before becoming tax residents. And we did not want to get into any kind of situation where we needed to start paying tax into a country that we're not in. We weren't planning to stay there for very long. So we left and we came to Buenos Aires, and we're here now until early April. And then we are planning to go to Brazil in Florianopolis. And then after Brazil, so we're planning to be there for about 2 months. And then we're going to go to the United States to see family and check in. Great time of year to be going there in the summertime. And then we are not really sure what we're doing after that. We are playing around with staying in Latin America potentially and coming back to some places, coming back to Colombia, exploring some other spots, or heading over to Europe and doing some European activities. And yeah, and that's basically it. We don't really have any firm plans, especially since we decided that we aren't going to be pursuing real estate in Colombia. We're kind of less feeling like we need to come back there right now. We can maybe keep going and figuring stuff out. Probably no plans for Asia for a little bit longer. It is just so hard to run my business from there, but we will see. And so, speaking a little bit of business, just to wrap this up, I want to leave you with a little piece of advice and wisdom if I can. So, as I mentioned, the times are very difficult and uncertain. And I know I feel this way, and maybe I'm sure all of you feel this way too, that there's just like a lot coming at us all the time. Like I have New York Times news alerts coming to me in my inbox. And so I'm just like getting berated and barraged with all these things happening. And it's just so overwhelming. And I found in our most recent launch that it seems like it is, it's a weird time. People are still investing in services and products and moving things forward because we have to, we have no choice. Like the things that are happening, some of them are in our control, many of them are not, and we still need to keep moving forward. And honestly, sometimes I think that's the healthiest thing to do is to just continue focusing on what you need to do and putting one foot in front of the other. But people are getting just hit with a lot of different stuff. And I think one thing that I've heard some other people talking about, and this is something that I'm definitely focusing on, is just continuing to follow up, honestly, and recognizing that it might take a few more touch points, check-ins with people, really be listening to what people are struggling with and working to address that in any kind of conversations that you're having with people, any calls, any emails that you're exchanging, really trying to find out what's going on for folks and how you can help them, and doing a little bit more of that personal touch where you can. We talk about email marketing and all of that is really great, but go into your email list and see who are a few of the people that have been opening some of your past emails or engaging with your content and clicking, and just reach out to them personally to find out what's going on, how you can help them, learn a bit more about where they're at, and try and see if you can have some conversations. So I think a lot of times it's really great to rely on the systems that we have in our business, because that means that we don't have to be doing a lot of manual work all the time. But at the same time, those systems are there to allow us to have space to connect more personally with people, and the people that are closer to being ready to work with us and talk with us. So if someone has been on your email list for a really long time and they're continuing to engage with your content, then it probably means they might be a good customer, and they might be sitting on the fence and thinking some things and dealing with some things, and you reaching out a few times. So don't feel like you're bothering people. If someone says, this is just not a good time, then obviously you want to back off. But otherwise, like I said, there's just a lot going on. People are being hit with a lot. And so it can be just tough to be seen above all the noise of everything else. It doesn't mean that you are piling it on and annoying people. You are trying to cut through all of the noise of all the, I'm not going to swear, but all the stuff that is happening out there. You are still trying to get through and connect with them and help them because they still have those needs that need to be met. So if you can, this is just like my little assignment to you if you are feeling a little lost in terms of lead generation or getting calls booked or clients coming in, look at your current sources of your audience, whether it is your email list or people that have reached out to you in the past, but maybe it wasn't the right fit for them then. Or if you work with referral partners, doctors' offices, schools, business organizations, any of those people, have you connected with recently? Have you checked in with them? Or you have a network on LinkedIn, or you are in a community, some online communities where your customers are. Pick 5 people to reach out to, or commit to showing up more frequently in that online community and seeing how you can be of service and how you can continue to add value and help people and connect with people. Because I think that that's really something that gets lost a lot of times with all of the marketing and sales stuff that's happening, is just that personal connection is still really critical. And it's just small steps. It's taking those small steps. So that's something I'm doing. I'm personally reaching out to folks. You may be listening and you may be getting an email from me, or maybe you already did. Just trying to connect more and hear what's going on and see how I can help. That's all I'm about. So see if you can find those opportunities in your own business over the next couple weeks and see how it works. And just remember to keep refining. It can be a little disheartening at times to keep going, but that is the point. You're going to strike out more than you're going to hit home runs. That's just the nature of sales. So keep that in mind. And we're all there. We're all in that same situation. We're all trying and working towards helping people and connecting with people. And sometimes it can feel like it is an uphill battle, but just remember to stick with it. And these days, right now, with how things are, maybe you need to just push a little bit more. So I'm going to leave you there. I hope you found this valuable. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of life updates and all of that. We'll be coming next week at you with another great interview with a special guest. And if you like our podcast and you like this episode, remember to share it, review it. I would love to have more and more people coming and listening and getting some valuable information and actionable insights for their businesses. And if you have any ideas or feedback about what we cover on the podcast and would like other things to be covered, my door is always open. My ears are open. I love hearing that feedback. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram or go to my website, connect with me there. So that's it for now. See you next week. Thanks.